Welcome to Tavern Talk 716. Coming to you from the Nerd Terminal in Cheektowaga, New York. Here are the hosts. International best-selling author, Keith White Jr. and Lawrence Duran Gomez.
All right, hello. We are here, Tavern Talk 716. I am international best-selling children's author and main host of the show, Keith White Jr. And with me,
hello there, my name is Lawrence Gomez, aka Duran, aka Salvatore Morocco, aka not Keith White Jr.
No one is but me. There's one and only. Thank God for that. And you might notice things look a little different than usual, even the not usual, as it's usually the two of us sitting in a tavern for a few weeks in the bunker or wherever else. But we're doing something a little different this week.
We're starting to diversify.
We're diversifying ourselves a little bit here. We're at the Nerd Terminal, Cheektowaga, New York, which is currently, unfortunately, not open, as all small businesses are right now. But we came out here because we want to keep it in the conscious, keep people talking about it. We're all about 716 in the Buffalo area, so we wanted to come out and promote the show, promote the store here. We're going to have the owner of the store, Jason, come out and sit with us in a couple minutes here, so he can tell you a little bit more about it. But before he comes out, we didn't do a monologue or anything because this is like a late night talk show type of deal we're doing right now, which has been a dream of mine for my whole life to host a late night talk show. This is awesome.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. And you are co-hosting, which I know you being the Ed McMahon to my Johnny Carson has been your dream for your entire life.
Well, if I was to list off all of my dreams, it would be in the low hundreds, for sure.
Low hundreds, high hundreds, middle hundreds. It's on the list. That's all I'm worried about. And as it is, Tavern Talk 716. We're not in a bar, so I am drinking root beer this week. But I do have a drink, which is not very late night talk showish. But the shows would be better if they did this, I think.
And before we bring on the owner proprietor of the Nerd Terminal, we just want to touch base a little bit on as Jason will go more in depth on the company's goals and purpose. I just want to say Keith and I are very much fans of this establishment because we are fans of all things toy related and game related from our youth. They have comic books here as well, but they mainly focus or cater to the vintage 70s and 80s, maybe 90s toy community.
For sure.
And it's fantastic.
And it's called the Nerd Terminal for a reason, because we are nerds, if you couldn't tell by now. We also host a YouTube bar talk show, so I don't know that you get much more nerdy than that. So
definitely specializing in such matters.
Specializing in such, I don't even know what that means. Specializing in such matters as what?
As being nerds.
Always being
all around
nerds.
All around nerds.
Okay, I got you. See, the shot we're in right now looks a little weird because I'm over on the edge, and then you're next to me. We got all this open space. But soon it will make more sense once our guest comes over and sits down with us. So,
where's our handy dandy assistant?
Nickel T. Buffalo is here as well. He came down to the terminal with us, and he is supposed to be acquiring our guest right now, but
he's actually making himself very comfortable.
Oh, you'll be seeing that over the next few weeks, how comfortable he's been making himself here in the Nerd Terminal. He told us that he is not leaving when we leave at the end of today. He's going to hang out here until the quarantine is over.
He loves it here so much.
He's decided to quarantine himself here in the store.
And because he's a Buffalo, we can't really force him to do anything.
Well, there you go. So, if here comes Jason, maybe not.
That assistant is so fired.
Well, that's all right. We'll just keep on going. So,
as I've been firing many people on this show lately,
abusing
my power.
And Duran, in fact, before we went on the air today, he fired our old producer, Ranting Ron, over the phone. Well, actually, he had me do it. That's just because he moved up the chain.
Well, I had
said, can you fire Ron and then I fire Ron? You see, that's how it works, is you go to your superior with a problem and then he gets rid of Ron.
Well, you see, what I was trying to do was one-up Eric Bischoff. Eric Bischoff always fired people by the phone, so I had to have someone else fire someone over the phone.
What you did would have been like Eric Bischoff firing Ted Turner, because you went up the chain instead of down the chain. So you did one up and without a doubt.
unprecedented
Oh, for sure.
firing on our live
I
on our
believe
show.
here he comes right now. We got Jason, the owner and operator of the Nerd Terminal, coming over right now. There's probably some sort of music playing as we go here.
I don't have music playing.
No, it'll be added in post.
Just-
I mean, what you hear is music playing.
Then I'll play along as if the music's playing, but it's
Right,
not.
right, absolutely, and I won't edit any of this out, so it's fine. All right. Oh, there we go. We got. Oh, there we go. Oh yeah. Yep.
Prepared.
Very much, yes.
Very prepared.
That's what we're doing here in the quarantine times of today. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
We appreciate you having us here at the Nerd Terminal.
I can't breathe in that damn thing.
It's rough. It's rough.
Yeah, they're bad.
It's like wrestling under a mask. You don't know what that's like.
Not at all.
Oh,
No
actually,
idea.
in episode
Never
1,
done it. I
he
have
spilled
to
the
show this
beans.
face.
Did you really?
Told the world he was Tango Torres.
I've been keeping that secret for years.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Oh, jeez.
I put him in. I even put Tango
I
Torres.
said no such thing.
I even put Tango Torres and Salvatore Morocco in most of my books as
We've done
separate
that.
people.
We've done that.
And they even wrestled each other. in a couple
We've
of
had
books.
people
Yeah, but now
like
he goes.
dress up and walk by him.
Right, and now what does he do? He goes in the first episode. First thing he does, I'm Tango Torres. Ruins the mystique.
What I meant to say
that
was,
part of his
I
AKA
wish
this,
I
yeah,
was
yeah,
Tango Torres.
That's not what you said.
I was drunk. We
spent
were
like
at a tavern.
Oh, we definitely were.
Oh, the
talking
cat's
at
out of the
tavern.
bag now? Oh, yeah, alcohol.
Yeah,
it
the
is.
first couple episodes were at Magruder's in Dubuque.
Kayfabe is tough.
And,
Oh, yeah, it's
right.
tough.
So, Jason, thank you for coming
Yes,
on the
sir.
show. Why don't you tell
Thank
us a
you for
little
having
bit
me.
about the terminal?
The terminal, things are going really well. I opened up January 1st. I like to deal my hobbies and stuff like that. It's the retro toys, the vintage toys, G.I. Joe, He-Man, Star Wars, the old Elgin, remember the big rubber wrestlers?
Yeah, I was just looking at him over there. They're
All that
awesome.
stuff, that's stuff I love. So I had a really good knack of acquiring it. And I wanted to make that, if I'm gonna do a job, if I'm not gonna wrestle anymore, I'm gonna do what I wanna do, and that's what I wanna do. Of course, I ended up with a very large place. So the idea for the coffee shop came along.
The Krypton Cafe over
Yeah,
there. I
Krypton
love that.
Cafe,
Love
yeah,
that. Superman is my favorite superhero.
Oh, I love Superman.
I've got Superman tattoo on my arm that very few people have ever seen.
You got to see that.
No,
As long as it's on your arm.
If it wasn't root beer, maybe we would be seeing it.
We'd definitely be seeing it. We'd all be dancing on the
Oh,
tables.
oh, yeah.
But yeah, and then we have personal training in the back. It's such a big place. Yeah, it's really just I took everything I loved and made it into one place, and things were actually going pretty well. Of course, when you first open a business, you sit there and nothing happens, and you contemplate life. You contemplate what you got yourself into. You contemplate changing your name, moving to Mexico.
I've done that.
I've contemplated all those things, and then one day, the door just started to open more and more often, slowly going up. I had days where I made $0. I had days. My highest day was $27 at one point. It was once that week. Then next thing you know, the door started banging a little bit, and it's more steady. Then I had a really big day one day, really big, and then it leveled at a pretty decent place, steadily going up every day. And then this happened. Down to nothing.
We've been saying the whole time that this will be detrimental to small businesses,
Oh,
which is
that's-
unfortunate. It's the backbone of our.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
of our
well,
cus-
a lot of people could say that. People aren't gonna understand unless they're living in it. It is extremely detrimental to something like this, especially a startup. A lot of the stuff that came out, the stimulus for businesses, doesn't include a startup, somebody who just started. You have to be 2 years in or more. So I didn't qualify for that. That would've helped me stay afloat until we can get back. I still gotta pay the electric company, still
Oh,
wants
yeah.
their money.
Yeah, you still got bills
They
too,
don't care.
so.
So there's nothing going out, there's money going out, nothing coming in. And, we don't even know when it's gonna happen. But now, it took me a couple months to start to build that momentum. I wasn't doing great. I wasn't gonna pay the bills and go on a cruise by any means. But it was just
But it was
steadily,
picking up steam.
exactly. It was heading
Yeah.
in the right
You're
direction.
going in the right direction, and then they hit the brakes on you.
Exactly, and then if this goes on too long, am I gonna have to start that process over again? Is the
Well, that's,
momentum
yeah,
gonna?
that's one of the reasons we wanted to come out today,
Oh,
is just to
absolutely.
keep it
Appreciate
in,
it, yeah.
keep it in people's minds, keep people thinking about
Let
it
you
while
know
you're
we're
not
here.
open.
Yeah.
And absolutely, that can lead into another topic of how can people still contribute in a way to support maybe your business or
Mine. Well,
or small business in general.
It's very creative. A lot of people are doing gift certificates. For my personal training, we have the group training classes. We have a couple of awesome trainers that I've worked with in the past. They're amazing trainers. We can give you discounts to sign up, give you unlimited months, much cheaper, just for now, just to keep the money in,
Absolutely.
keep the lights on.
Keep a flow of income.
And then when we come in, then, you know, hopefully those people will come. They're already paid for. They probably paid for 2-3 months at that point. But hopefully the word will spread. They'll lose 10, 15 pounds and their friends will be like, how'd you do that? I want to go. And then keep them coming in.
That's
So,
just it, that's what, you know, and that's hopefully what we're gonna do for you
Absolutely.
today, a little bit, you know, it's not.
well, absolutely. Well, if you could, put my email right here.
I was just gonna ask you that, how can people contact you, so,
thenerdterminal@gmail.com.
okay, I'll make sure that's down at the bottom.
Right in between here and here, so.
There you go, I can like, put it wherever you
There and
like,
there,
well,
right.
oh, wait, maybe
Put it
I
right
shouldn't say
there.
that.
Put it right, put it down there. But yeah, no, reach out. We can definitely get you set up with the training when it comes on.
Also, are you currently buying product if someone's
I'm
got some vintage
absolutely
toys, vintage games, vintage
Buying
comics?
product, yes. One of the things that's keeping it flow is trying to do things online
Okay,
sales.
yes.
Things aren't moving like they used to, but certain things are moving for more than what they used to. So, you know, I'm bringing things in. Definitely, if you're going through your spring cleaning or your quarantine cleaning, and you find old toys, get in touch with me. I'll set up a time to meet you here. We'll go through it. I'll get you some cash for it, and you know that will help me actually have a business when this opens back up.
Excellent.
Because if I could find things to piecemeal and sell online here and there just to buy food for the house, when it comes time to open up, there's gonna be no stock.
Right, oh yeah, so
You
well,
know,
that's,
so,
you,
yeah, I definitely.
if you just sell it all off, then you got
Yeah.
just a big empty building.
We gotta fill the place back up for when we finally
Right.
do.
And
come back to normal.
what is everything that you guys have here? Like, I know we mentioned toys
Oh, yeah,
and
we have-
comics and stuff, but what, you know,
Yeah.
what is the whole shebang that you guys do here?
Well, really the main thing, I kinda open it, you know me, I'm an extrovert. I open it up to talk to people. People come in who collect Star Wars, we sit there talking for 2 hours about Star Wars.
And
That's
you-
really the main reason. I
And
opened
you
the
did
place.
have certain nights dedicated to
Oh,
certain discussions.
And they were starting to
or
go well.
roundtables.
Yes, we had G.I. Joe night. We get G.I. Joe collectors, and this is actually kind of a funny story. I put an ad in the Cheektowaga, the Clarence, and the Depew, and the Bee newspaper for G.I. Joe night, and all the old people came out with their big G.I. Joes.
Oh, wow.
And
that's awesome.
at first we were kind of like, oh, you know, the Bee only reaches the older crowd. And then we kind of laughed a little bit that they were coming with the old G.I. Joes. Then we started playing with them. And it was hysterical. Like right on this table here, the guy brought in this big Jeep with a big thing on the back and a big cannon and an actual flashlight for a spotlight
Wow.
that taught you Morse code on the back. So we're sitting there flashing each other in the eyes, SOS, SOS, SOS. We had more fun that night. When at first it was like kind of like a joke. We're like, oh, you know, they all
Like a
bring in their old
hokey
yeah.
way, yeah.
No, we were having so much fun, and the guy wouldn't sell it to us.
Oh.
We wanted to keep it here and play with it,
Mhm.
but he wanted to bring it home. He just brought it for show and tell, which is great. I
That's
loved
still
it.
fantastic.
yeah,
Oh.
that's
I'm a
great.
huge fan of, I never had to, I grew up and a lot of the things, I had a brother who was close to my age, so my dad could invest a good portion of Christmas and our birthdays. Our dad could invest a huge amount in our Christmases and birthdays in the same gifts since we were close in age. So we had a lot of the collections of G.I. Joes, He-Man, Thundercats. We had a lot of those
Oh, I
things.
love Thundercats.
But one thing we never had, and I'm a huge fan that you have it, is the aircraft carrier.
Oh, dude, nobody
Love-
had that.
Love that. the
Especially where
aircraft
we
carrier
grew
is
up.
here.
Yeah, I grew up on the west side. There was not one kid on the west side who had the aircraft carrier.
Mm-hmm.
And when I asked my parents for it, they told me to shove it. There was no way they were.
Sounds
Oh,
about
yeah,
right,
that thing
sounds
is-
about
yeah,
right.
I remember seeing that thing in the brand names catalog.
It was over
It's like,
$100.
oh my God, I want that.
Yeah, no, there was
that's
not a chance.
gonna happen.
I got my first one, I think when I was like 35 years old. I found one on Craigslist. I found one and I ended up selling it off. Got another one. Now I think since I've opened the store, I've acquired 6 of them.
Excellent.
That's awesome.
So, but they come in the door like crazy. You know, I tell people, hey, I'll buy
Because
your,
it's so big.
I'll
it's
buy your
hard for-
toys.
It's hard for people to hold on to.
Yeah,
Exactly.
well, sure.
But I've acquired them. I have so many of them laying around. If you ever decide you want to get that thing done, I got one for you.
Excellent. What would you say you average sell them for?
It depends. If it's just the basic shell of it,
Yeah, it probably depends on the condition, what it's got.
the basic shell in good condition, anywhere from 300 to 500.
Okay.
100% complete, 1,500.
Yeah, and
in great
there's not
condition.
many of them around anymore.
I got one that is 100% complete with the box and
Wow.
the instructions. My
That's
intention is
impressive.
my intention is to keep that one. because I'm a collector myself. I
Absolutely,
collect
that's
G.I.
how we
Joe.
get into this stuff.
But no, I do have another one that's about 90% complete, in amazing condition. I have one that is not in as good condition, but there's people that don't care, they just want the flag up. You know, it might not be as beautifully white as mine or another one, it might be a little yellowed, they don't care. They want that flag up in their house.
Yeah, they had one when they were a kid, and,
I mean, it's kind of the coolest toy ever.
Yeah, broke, or was parents sold at a yard sale, or decided at one point they didn't want it anymore. Then you get older, and all of a sudden it's like, I wish I still had that.
Yeah.
You know, things upset me. I wish I still had all my He-Man toys, and I wish I still had all my Thundercats, and I wish I still had all my Silverhawks, and I wish I had all my.
I never got Silverhawks when I was a kid. No, I
They used to
didn't.
come on right after Thundercats.
I never
and Hornets.
saw it. I was into Thundercats. I had Thundercats. I didn't even realize Silvercats existed until about 5 years ago.
Oh, really?
A friend of mine's like, oh yeah, I got all these Silverhawks toys. I'm like, oh, these are so cool.
Yeah, Silverhawks.
What is this?
So my thing, less so the figures, my biggest fanatical collection is the box sets of the DVDs. So I have full series of Transformers, Thundercats, and G.I. Joe. And then I have a lot of single series of other ones, and Silverhawks is probably my job. I have the first season of Silverhawks on DVD.
Oh, we gotta see that. We gotta like set up a viewing.
Yeah, well,
That
that's,
wall of lids, they must
another
have a
thing,
projector.
you guys, another thing's we were talking about, are you guys gonna do stuff like retro game nights, retro
Absolutely.
viewing parties, stuff
Absolutely.
like that?
Well, a lot of the retro video games were actually gonna take place before all this happened. We have a room over here, we got the cases set up, maybe you could throw some clips in it, edit in later.
Yeah.
But
Whatever
it's
you
got,
want in there.
yeah, no, it's got the, we got everything set up, and we acquired a bunch of the systems, we acquired a bunch of the games, not enough to create a whole section just
Right,
yet,
right,
but we
it's
were,
a start,
we
yeah,
were,
start to
we were
build, like,
accumulating.
just like the store
Yeah.
itself, you know.
And it was
start to
getting
build.
there, and then this happened. So,
So
now.
you guys, is it just a little bit of everything then? So really, like, if someone comes in off the street and they've got something you normally wouldn't sell, but something retro cool, you'd still be interested in purchasing it?
Absolutely, absolutely. Anything retro cool, especially toys. I mean, toys are number one. A lot of people try to bring sports cards. Those don't sell.
Yeah,
anything after 1986 just does not.
So more like just retro nerd. When anything
Oh,
retro
if
nerd,
it's
you're
retro
into.
nerd, oh, absolutely. If I know somebody, from meeting the people that I have doing this, I know people who are into everything. So if there's something you have, I know somebody who wants it. Odds are.
So this is pretty much, the place to go for anything.
Oh, yeah.
Anything retro cool, this is the place to go.
I'll
Well,
be
you
a
know what
retro
we
cool
got?
broker.
Talk about what's the address for when the store reopens.
The address is 3843 Union Road.
And it's right on
Cheektowaga.
Union and George Urban.
Yeah,
in the plaza.
if you type in that address, it's gonna bring you to the wine store, grab us something to drink, and then come down, a few more stores down. We're right in the top, on Union and George Urban, right in the Tops Plaza, right next to the wine cellar.
And that wine cellar on this side, Dollar Tree
Dollar
over on
Tree's
that
right
side.
over there.
So really, anything you can want in between. You guys are just sandwiched in here. So
Oh, yeah,
that's awesome.
it's great, it's great. Great spot.
You got any, just walking around before the show here, I was looking through the comics, the toys, some of the games. We saw you got a big wrestling ring here in the
Giant wrestling
in the
ring,
store,
yeah,
which
yeah.
is awesome. We're gonna film an episode over by the ring too for future consumption. Is there any things that aren't in here yet that you planned on bringing in?
I took this guy's head off in that very ring.
Probably multiple times.
Probably. I'd
Well,
love
one
to hear about it.
specific.
Once
I'd love to hear about that.
during a match.
Oh,
Absolutely.
then I would absolutely love to
The
hear
best
about
thing
that.
about the match that I had with Blackjack Phoenix was,
It was always the same match, no matter how many times we did it. It was
well,
the same match every
it
time.
wasn't even actual the wrestling, because the wrestling always came natural. It was, you were running a show, and we had a match during the show. And so you're running the show, so you can't really focus on anything else. So we're
That's
like,
probably one of the hardest
we'll
things
just
I've ever
go,
done.
we'll just go wrestle. We got this. We'll just go wrestle. And then right as he's sending me to the curtain, he's like, oh yeah, go cut a 30-second promo. And I'm like, what? Luckily I did it, and I actually pulled off the cuff, I pulled off my favorite blow to the crowd, which was I came out into the center of the ring and I was like, hello, Rochester, New York. And I turned to the ring announcer and I'm like, what, we're in Buffalo? Oh, I thought this was Rochester based on how ugly this crowd was. So I was so happy about that diss because I dissed Rochester and Buffalo, New York at the same time.
all the
Was
same
that at
time.
Riverworks?
That was at
Yeah, I
Riverworks.
was at that show.
Well, I wouldn't have
I
sent
was
you
at
out
that
there
show.
and told you to do that if if I didn't know you could do it.
Yes,
You know,
thank you. I
I
appreciate
knew we
it.
were in good hands. Go run your mouth for a second. I need some time.
We've
It
been
was
off the
actually-
cuffing for a half an hour a week here for 3
Oh,
months.
that's
And it was
so,
actually
you know.
better that way because I feel I'm better when I just have to go. If I start to you'll start
You
overthinking
overthink
if you have too
everything,
much
yeah.
time.
No, just
So
go.
it actually worked out perfectly.
Just throw
And
yourself
it was a
out
great,
there
it
and
was
do
a
it.
great night.
I've come up with some good stuff that way too. I had a promoter, because that's how I was brought in. I started early. Kayfabe was still around. There was still like some semblance of the territory system. I mean, I was on the territory system. It wasn't like the way it was before, where it was real big.
Right.
But it was the same system. It was like pretty much the very end of the territories when they were just about dried out. And that's how the promoters did it. They're like, oh, you're good, you're young, you can talk, go say something. What do you want me to do? Heel or face? Heel, go heel. I'm like, all right. So I went out there, and that's where my best stuff came out. Real quick too, off the cuff stuff with the crowd, back and forth. If I ever planned anything, I wouldn't know what to do.
Right, yeah. you
Because
get
what if
all
they're
in
not
your own
reacting
head.
the way I want them to? Then I'm gonna think, oh, here, what do I do now? I'd rather just go out there the way I was taught to do it. Just go out there, you're a heel, that guy's a face, he's luchador, master luchador. So, obviously I gotta put him over if I'm the heel. I don't want him to look, I don't want it to look like he's nobody. You know, so you just know what you gotta do and you go out there and do it. I knew you knew what to do. But go get him all riled up a little bit before I come out. And you
Yeah,
know,
I was at that show. That worked. I didn't like that one bit. It was awesome.
now, what do you think the difference would have been in the pop when I came out if he didn't go out there and say it?
Oh yeah, well, it would have just been like, oh, here comes another guy. But
No,
he
I'm
got-
never just another guy.
Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, what? They really wanted you to get the crap.
It adds that extra pop.
Right. I
Which is
didn't-
the
I
whole
apologize. I
purpose.
didn't mean to say they were going to sit on their hands. I'm just saying that because he went out there and really tore into them,
Oh, yeah.
they really wanted
And then-
you to come out there and
And if you
punch
do
his
that
head.
right, Adolf Hitler could come out and get a pop.
Well, yeah.
If you do that right, if you do it well enough, and I knew he could. And we need somebody with a big mouth, right? You go.
Oh yeah, he's definitely a guy with a
Big
big
mouth.
mouth.
I need somebody who's an asshole. Go. Go talk to him.
He's
Go.
complimenting you and insulting you at the same time, and I
Hey,
love
He's
it.
pulling
because-
off a B-move.
Go be you.
Yeah, I love it. That's fantastic.
Oh, yeah, and the pop's bigger, and that's
Oh,
the whole
yeah,
purpose, is
for
just
sure.
to get the bigger
It's all
pop. So
storytelling.
we built up the heat, we sent the heel out, he got them all riled up, I knew he was more than capable to do it. We got the pop, we did the match a certain way, and if you remember the one match, the first Riverworks show, when it was me and you, we went around the ring with the beer.
With the beer, yeah.
We did it at such a pace to where they never stopped popping from the time I came out.
Yeah.
Remember that? From the time I came out, that pop, the match got in. Boom, 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 boom. Next thing you know, we're outside the ring with the beer. They're still up. We had one of the guys in the crowd chugging beer. Gomez is laying on the ground, and I'm like drinking beer with the guy, and he's chugging it, and the crowd's going crazy. And I'm like, I look at the guy, and I go, stay down. I'm loving this shit. Stay down for a second. So I give him a little kick, boom, and then we start chugging beer again. Then we go back, we go in the ring, he cuts me off, we go to eat. Boom, right? Lariat, pow.
Yeah.
The pop kept up, which is the goal. I mean, I don't think we could have done that for 30 minutes. We're not Tully and Aaron by any means. But for two guys who are at our level, that was a pretty good accomplishment we pulled off. Just doing that, yeah. Get that pop up, and then we kept it up.
It's awesome.
Whole
See,
time.
those are great stories. I love hearing that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah,
Again,
it's
we're
great.
here at the Nerd Terminal. In case somehow you're just tuning into the show, even though you're watching on YouTube, so I don't know how you're just tuning in the middle. But if you are, some sort of YouTube roulette, we're here at the Nerd Terminal in Cheektowaga, New York.
In the rabbit
We're
hole.
here with Jason, the owner, and we're also here with this other guy on the other side of the couch, who I believe calls himself AKA most weeks. So, you know, I gotta ask you, do you have any idea, or do you have any idea when you want the store to reopen, or are you more worried about?
I'm the type, I never wanted to close. I mean, obviously, I understand what's going on.
Right.
I'm scared as much as anybody. I don't like what's going on. I don't like not being open though.
Well,
I don't like not having an income.
Because I know there are people with small businesses who want to be closed because they're more worried about, Corona or whatever.
Well, obviously, I
than
don't.
they are anything else. And not to say,
no,
not to
I don't.
downplay it in any way.
I
not
don't
to
want to
say-
be open in lieu of
Right.
coronavirus. I mean, obviously, I understand.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying.
I understand I have to be close.
Well, there are people who, people with small businesses who would just, rather
say
close it.
screw you.
No, there are people that would just be like, I'll just close down permanently. I'm not going to risk it. But you're more interested in getting back to business.
Yeah, I want to get back to business. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There are people who are like, you see people on TV, small businesses, like, once it's over, I don't know if I want to reopen because I'm so scared.
Oh, well, that's just crazy. That's mental illness.
Right. Well, that's why I actually
fuck that.
Duran and there's the F-bomb for this episode. There's usually at least one in every episode. It's not a kid's show. It's fine.
All right, cool.
A couple weeks ago, Duran and I were talking on the show, and I was saying, especially now that everybody's wearing masks, like I think you could start reopening some stuff. Like if everyone's got masks on and those are supposed to help keep us safe, then maybe the elderly and the people who have preconditions or people who are susceptible, they can stay home and then they can work with the government to get assistance if they need it. But everyone else, if I can wear a mask and supposedly I can go to the supermarket and buy groceries and I can go to the pizzeria and get a pizza, why can't I go pick up a couple comics and get it to Temple Toys?
Exactly. I mean, that would help everybody out. It would help. I think due to all of this, there's still going to be that down for a business.
Oh yeah,
like
for
mine.
sure.
After everything.
I think I'll still be paying more for the lights than I will be bringing in.
Oh yeah, even when this is over, people are going to be scared you out of the house for a while.
Yeah.
But the longer this takes, the more scared they're going to be.
They're going to turn to agoraphobia.
Right.
Agoraphobia.
Yeah, and that's
It's already happening to people. I know people who are going crazy in their house.
Oh yeah.
Either because they're going crazy and they want to get out regardless of the precautions, or they never want to leave their house again.
Mm-hmm.
It's taking people
Absolutely.
with it's giving people mental illness right now. It's a horrible thing.
Well,
I was sure some way we could just reach out to everybody and talk to them and help keep them sane. But then people go on social media and they just berate me. How dare unfriend me if you go outside right now?
Yeah,
How dare you?
And then you get the other end.
It's like,
Unfriend me if you won't go outside.
Yeah, unfriend me if
There are
you're
a lot of different perspectives on
But
this.
that's Duran and I discussed on the show a couple weeks ago, and after the show, he told me that might be a little bit of I might be going over, I shouldn't talk about it as much, but it's, if we can wear masks,
No,
and I can go to the grocery store with a mask. When I was at Wegmans today, it was like shoulder to shoulder in there. And if that's safe for me to go to Wegmans and
It's
get some
not.
groceries,
I don't think.
and I'm shoulder
But you
to
have
shoulder
to
with
give
my
it.
mask on, then I should be able to go to another store too. Like, that should be my choice. And
Dude,
if
whatever your
I'm
opinion is,
elderly,
don't
I
let it lose.
should be able to get that assistance that they're giving people, like the extra money and all that. If I'm scared to go out of the house, or I'm too old to go out of the house, or there's a good chance I'm gonna catch it, then work with the government and get that assistance until we're at a point where you don't need to anymore. But everybody else,
I don't disagree with you. I definitely fine with people staying in the house, keeping it down. But if somebody
unless they want to come here.
if they want to give me money, by all means,
Right.
come out of the house. I'll throw it at you as you drive by. But no, if somebody has an opinion like yours, where you feel we're at the point where we can do that, I don't discredit you for that at all. Even if I disagree, I would never.
Well,
Some of these
that's
people
what
go
it's-
online.
I know.
They
They're
would have
awful.
unfriended you.
Oh, yeah, they're awful.
They would have hung you in a town square.
Yeah, they're awful.
No, you can't. People are gonna have different opinions. If you have somebody who thinks everybody should be inside, you know what? You're
Right,
scared. That's fine.
everybody's got their opinion. Everybody's right to have
Absolutely.
it. There's nobody's wrong. It's just, that's just my feelings.
No, absolutely. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with
And
you.
Duran you're an essential employee, right? So you're
I'm
at
an
work all
essential
day
employee.
anyway.
Well,
My life is going on as normal outside of having to stay
Other than
inside
not being able
when
to
I'm
do
home.
Tavern Talk 716 in taverns.
Yeah, that's true.
That's pretty.
I'm drinking more, even though I can't go to a bar, so.
But that's awesome.
Tell me how that works.
If I was able to work a steady job with a steady paycheck, or I was one of the lucky people who, and if you go on social media, don't brag. They're like, oh, I'm an essential employee. I could stay home and work from home, and I have all this money coming in. As there's a business owner like me with no money coming in.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And not
That's
one
awful, too. Yeah.
government
That's
stimulus
unfortunate, yeah.
applies to me. All right, not one of them applies to me. Don't go on and be like, I think we should all praise God. No, you should praise God. That's about it. And do it privately because I'm pissed. But yeah, no, I don't hold. I will never hold your opinion against you. I don't completely disagree with you either, but I don't completely disagree with somebody who
Right.
thinks
Because on the
everybody
other
should
side
be
too.
housed.
Yeah.
But I would never,
Yeah, I just think there's a happy medium
Ostracize
where we are right.
for-
I think from where we are right now, I think there's a happy medium
Yeah.
where the people who want to be home can be home, and maybe the people
Absolutely.
who want to be able to go do stuff can. Because you know what? Even if everything were to open tomorrow, you don't have to go to any store.
Well, I don't go to the
You're
store.
not required to, and you could wear a mask even if they were to say today, hey, it's all gone. It's cleared
That's
up,
what it
it's
is. I
gone.
have it. Yeah, no, with my allergies are so bad this time of year. I'm sneezing and coughing and wheezing everywhere I go.
Mine are the worst in the fall.
So I don't want to, like, well, technically I'm allergic to the calendar month of June. But right now, things start to kick in for me.
Yeah.
So I'll be in line at Dollar Tree and I'm sniffling. And you know when you have the allergies, the sinus drip hits the back of your throat?
Oh, yeah.
For those of you who enjoy cocaine, it's the same thing without the flavor. But when that hits my gag reflex, I start coughing. So I'll be sitting in Dollar Tree behind somebody like, sorry, allergies.
Yeah.
Allergies. So I don't even go in anywhere.
Well, yeah.
You know, I mean, I just avoid it because, and then I'm a hypochondriac too. So as soon as I think I'm gonna cough right in the middle of a store. So I stay right out.
Yeah, probably for the best right now.
I go into Wegmans, and in the 1 minute I'm in Wegmans, I'm holding in a cough. And I didn't even have to cough, it's just, I'm in there and it's mentally it takes place, so whatever. So I get in there and get out. If I can't send the kids in to do my dirty work, I get in and get out.
Well, we wanted to focus on the terminal. Do we want to wrap up with anything specifically?
I was just going to
about
say the
this?
same. We're getting close to the end of the show here, and I think this was gone really well. We actually we set this whole interview thing up here because we were going to originally. We figured we'd do just a quick interview with you so you could plug the store and everything, and then we would do a regular episode to kind of wrap around it. But you've kept this thing rolling for an entire episode, so
I'm happy with it.
yeah, it's gone very well.
Since I was very young.
So the episode we are wrapping up, Duran is correct. What information do you want to throw out there at the end for everybody?
The main thing is, business-wise, support every local business you could think of. If you're having fun cooking at home, that's great, but if you have a chance and you know somebody owns a restaurant and they're doing takeout, go pick up some takeout that night.
Oh, yeah.
I did the other day with a friend of mine's restaurant. I didn't want that much food, and then he saw me coming, he added more food. I ate until I couldn't even see straight. But I had to, at least once a week or once every other week, order something from his restaurant. Just do that. Any chance you got restaurants, small businesses, put the email up here. I'm taking in toys. You got your old stuff. You're cleaning out while you're in quarantine. You find old toys. I need them. I need to fill this place up. Just support every local business you could right now because they need it.
So yep, don't forget about the Nerd Terminal. They're sort of here. When this all opens up, they will be here. Again, the email is going to be at the bottom of the screen. This is the Nerd Terminal. We are on Union in George Urban in the plaza right next to the wine cellar, right by the Dollar Tree. So, Jason, thank you for coming on the show. I was going to shake your hand, but instead I'm going to
Dusty Rhodes elbow.
That's right.
Dusty
Elbow.
Rhodes elbow.
So for international best-selling children's author Keith White Jr. and
AKA of all things.
AKA
Lawrence Duran Gomez. And again, as I said, Jason, the owner and proprietor here at the Nerd Terminal in Cheektowaga, New York. This is Tavern Talk 716, and we'll see you next week.